All right, so yeah, that was a fun little tournament over there in Liberty County with the glow in the dark event. You know.
It was. Pardon me, my voice is a little off still from yelling, coaching and stuff that day. But yeah, we hyped it up, but I didn't run it or I didn't organize it as far as, buying all the things and setting it up and doing all that. The host takes care of that. So Jason and his crew, Jason Brown at Liberty and his crew did that. So while I was hyping it up that it was going to be cool and, the most fun thing under the sun, I didn't actually know. But they delivered, man. It was really
Yeah.
cool. It came out nice. The kids that wore white straight up glowed in the dark. Any of the kids that had like the one kid had like a green the seam up his singlet was green and it glowed the whole time. It was just really neat. It was something different, and I think the kids
Yeah,
enjoyed
that
it.
was actually something I was you're kind of talking with people afterwards and during it is especially with the little kids, you know, because that's usually that's a lot who it was for. You know, as the bigger kids got up, it's like, all right, this is cool, but you know, they're more there for the wrestling. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe it's because it was dark and I couldn't see it, but I did not see as many tears when kids lost, you know, and the younger ones. I don't know if it was just the environment created for both the kids and the parents, but you know, because the parents, it's like, well, I can't see what happened, so how am I going to get upset? Or like the kid gets up, you know, he gets pinned or he loses whatever, and normally where that's what he'd be focusing on, he gets up and he's like, oh well, I'm glowing, so I'm still pretty cool. So
yeah. Get me a glow
yeah,
stick
man,
and we're
that was the
good.
coolest thing. I will say the only one thing is that there should be a parents area because being in there for a long period of time, I think the black lights were starting to get to me a little bit. But I loved the entire
Yeah,
thing that they put up. You know, kind of even caveat out, it was kind of half a joke, but I think they should set up like maybe an off area where parents can go if they want to get away from the black lights. You get your message and you just send your kid be like, hey, go to that mat and go wrestle. You know, let the coaches take care of it. We'll let it was just cool. It felt less like a tournament and more like just an enjoyable time to hang out with our wrestling community. You know, I didn't get that normal wrestling vibe, which I love that, but it's a great change up. So Jason Brown is he's a that dude's got $1 million ideas up his sleeve. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna call that.
yeah, yeah. Your idea about the parents area is something we can look into. Jason and I have talked about. I don't know if we'll do it every single series, but at least once a year doing something like this just to kind of change it up and give kids a change of pace. And like you said, it felt more like a fun event that we were all just kind of getting together than the wrestling and kids running around with glow sticks, smacking one another with the sticks and just running around being kids
Yeah,
having fun, man. It
because that's
was
all
it
they
was
are.
fun.
They're all the kids. Speaking of kids, we had some older kids pop in there, some college kids. I wanted to shout out them. It was I think you know them off the. I know Jaden Roseberry, and then what
Jaden
Rosenberry
Rosenberry and then Chance
Johnson. Yeah,
Chance
dude, they were
Johnson.
tough. I'm not gonna lie. And even Justin Johnson over there, he keeps on grinding. He's getting a lot better. I had my hands full. I got me a full 24 minutes of wrestling this weekend, and I'm looking forward to. I know they're in the Tallahassee area, so I'm hoping at the finale, I get to wrestle with them again, dude. That was fun. I appreciate them showing up and getting me some matches in. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, they're good kids. They come from Central Florida, the Tampa area, and they're here at FAMU. They were well trained in high school and are continuing college here. And we were just trying to get them some work. They come down to the club and work out because we're literally like FAMU is 1 minute that way, and Florida State is about 15 seconds that way. And so we're right smack dab in the middle. So we got a lot more college kids in the room and a lot more adults inquiring about, hey, can we wrestle with them? Because they walk past and see. So it's
That's
kind of cool.
that's how we build it.
Um,
You and I were talking at the tournament. You know, I want to I
Not
like being
me.
able to create the interest. You know, normally there's no kids, you know, adults. Now that there's four, you know, maybe the one in Tallahassee because of location, we get seven, eight. You know, just kind of keep growing it. And I had a lot of my NWA kids being like, Coach Jordan, when are you gonna wrestle? I want to see you wrestle, right? And it's not like winning or losing; they just want to see me wrestle. They want to see put on the singlet or Maura from Niceville, who I drill with every Sunday. You know, we're always working. You're like, oh, when you wrestle, Coach Jordan, when you wrestle, I'm like, I'm headed up soon. You know, so it's cool. You know, getting getting my kids the opportunity to see me kind of go full out like you did. You got a chance to go at the the one that you put on a couple years ago. You came out with the torn rotator cuff, but all these kids like the Bears, the Kendalls, the Cheneys, they get a chance to see their coach, the person that got them started into the love of wrestling, tangle up one last time. So it's such a cool opportunity that I hope more people jump into.
Yeah, for sure. Along those lines, you were mentioning about hopefully 7 or 8 in Tallahassee. Actually, so Florida State and FAMU are both coached by the same guy, Coach Simmons. He called me right before we jumped on the podcast here to ask about that tournament on the 19th. So I think he's gonna send down some guys, and we might match. It was last fall that I wrestled, and we had 29 adults that day, which was wild. Yeah, and so hopefully we can do something similar here at Florida High on the 19th. So
I'll do my best to make it over there and get after it. We can't go to the one in Panama City. Steven got a soccer game. Normally I wouldn't be super thrilled, but dude, he's got, kind of tangent off on this, but he's got his team lost every single game this year except tied at one and thought the season was over. But there's only 4 teams and they let them be in the playoffs. So just kind of like to add more games, and their games are close. And that's the type of stuff that gets me super excited. I was like, so you're telling me that you have the chance to have lost every single game during the regular season and then you come back and win the championship? I'm like, that's the type of stuff that gets me. Yeah,
it'd be cool.
that's the type of stuff that gets me excited about soccer. Let us take no prisoners on this one. So we'll miss the one in Panama City, but we'll be the one in Tallahassee. But let's go ahead and get to the top 30 because there's a lot of kids that wrestled hard. We had some kids coming back that we hadn't seen in a while that I'm really excited to mention, and one kid at the top of the leaderboard that that I'm happy to see there. So let's get to the top 30. Let's talk about these kids.
Sure, I'll pull the graphic up here. So number 30, Alexander Esparza, 5-1 from Niceville. He wrestled his first event this weekend. Evan Hill at 29 from Niceville, 5-1. Joshua Mercer from Liberty, 5 at 28. 27, Swayze Martin from Alpha Elite in Alabama. They actually brought a nice group of like 20 kids to this last event. 26, Trenton Gary from Pace Wrestling Club sitting at 6-5. At 25, we have Tristan Berry from Niceville at 6-5. 24th, Carson Shineberry at 6-5 from Patriots. 23, Oakland Kiner is 6-4. It says unattached here, but we found out later he is a Beach Bombers wrestler. 22, Lawson Thorne, 6-3 of Grappling House. 21, Weston Owens, 6-3 of Bay County Elite. Number 20, Weston Shores, 6-3 of Patriots Wrestling Club. 19, Max Perez is 6-2. He used to wrestle for Arnold. It's been updated. I don't remember exactly where he's from, so he's listed as unattached because on the software he didn't name a team. 18th is Jackson Steiner, 6-1 from Niceville. 17th, Carson Garcia, 6-1 from Grappling House. 16th, Preston Newfield, 7-3 from Gulf Coast Black Sheep. 15th, you got Marino Karate at 7-3 from Grappling House. 14th, Benjamin Green, 7-3 Patriots Wrestling Club. 13, James Oliver, 7-2 Gulf Coast Black Sheep. 12th, Reese Fish, the return of Reese, man, 7-0. In his first event back since injury here, and he's from Well Trained. 11th, Joey Stepien, 8-6 Grappling House. 10th, Julian Revesi from Arnold Wrestling Club or Arnold High School was 8-3. And 9th, you have Jason Marsala from Battle Wrestling Club over in Tallahassee. He's sitting at 9th. At 8th, you have Michael Stepien, 9-3 from Grappling House. 7th, Kinsley Jones, 9-3 also from Grappling House. At 6th, Calvin Ross is undefeated at 9-0 from Weewahichka. At 5, you've got Landon Pease, 10-1 from the Peacekeepers or unattached. We just made that name up and it stuck. Number 4, Nick Steiner is sitting at 10-0 from Niceville. At number 3, Wyatt Felchin is 10-0 from Grappling House. At number 2, Tyler Johnson, 11-4, an unattached wrestler. And sitting in the top spot with a record of 11-2, your boy Miles Rinkus from Niceville Wrestling Academy.
Honestly, I want to mention all 3 of those guys at the top are insane workers and really have put in the work over the season. Especially Wyatt. Wyatt beat Steven for the first time this weekend, and dude, I was so proud of him. Like, Steven is kind of like half in, half out, right? He does it to learn, some combat stuff, and mainly because I'm like, hey, you got to learn this. And dude, you can see that Wyatt really wanted that win every time that Steven would just barely get over him, and he finally capitalized off of that bad position from the crab ride, man. And I was like, dude, I am so proud of you. I told his dad too. I'm like, you should be very proud of that individual, man. He's come a long way, and the Johnsons, all three, they're all improving at a great rate. But there's some great wrestling. There's a lot of really close rankings there.
Yeah, I agree. To Wyatt, so that kid has put in so much work this summer. Not just this summer, really, since the season ended, he's been. I don't know that he's missed a practice. To the point where this is how all in he is. We had a lot of help building the kind of cool facility you see behind us here. Wyatt spent it was me and him over here for probably 6 or 7 days. We had 2 weeks to turn this thing around before our lease started. And every day Wyatt showed up, was helping me paint, rolled out mats, literally everything you see in here, that kid had a hand in. And, there's dedication in the wrestling, but the kid just wants to be around it. And so you're seeing really good results. He was a good wrestler before this off season. He just took it to a whole new level. So it's cool to see him getting the wins to match the work that he's
Yeah, I
been
like what
putting
you
in.
just said too. Just loves to be around it. That's a huge reason why I'm so excited to see Miles really on the leaderboard, top 10, but like, right at that top spot. It really hits me because that kid just loves being around it, right? If there's an open mat, that kid's gonna be there. If I'll wrestle with him for 30 minutes, he'll wrestle with me for 30 minutes. If I'll wrestle with him for 8 hours, he will wrestle with me for 8 hours. Like, the kid just loves being on the mat. His dad and mom, we talk a lot about how proud we are, how awesome it was to recruit him out of the local gym that we were working out at, and him
Mm,
coming in. But they even say, like, this is life. Wrestling was life changing for him, right? They tried to get him into so
heck
many
yeah.
different sports. None of it stuck. It was trying to figure out something that really lit a fire in him. And the second he found a wrestling mat, man, that was it for him. So it really does my heart well to see that. Love seeing Reese coming back, dude.
Yeah,
I saw him when I was like, oh, I saw little Riley first, and then I was like, oh my goodness, it made me so happy. And then I saw Reese there, nice and healthy and moving around, wrestling, attacking me. That was one of the highlights of the tournament for me.
yeah. It was cool to see him back on the mat. I forget, did he break his arm or something like
Yeah, I
that
think
last
so.
year? Um, but I know it was like his third injury or whatever. But man, what a tough kid, and just a good kid, good family, all those things. But from perspective of like growing and getting better, him being out on the mats, that helps my team get better. We had a number of kids wrestle him this weekend, but Harley, Harley Charoin, who you know the Charoins very well. Harley it's kind of been not you couldn't even call it a rivalry really, because Reese has always gotten the better of him pretty, I don't think it's been below a major decision yet. But man, Harley wrestled him this weekend, and they wrestled the first time. It was Harley's second match, and I think it ended like 8-1, but he broke the, hey, we didn't get major this time. But he was in on his legs like 3 or 4 different times where he just couldn't quite finish, or Reese's defense was just really good. And I said to Harley after the match just how proud I was of the way he was attacking and just not backing down. In the past, he's been a little bit tentative there, and he knows that Reese Fish is a really good wrestler, and he kind of just changes his style a little bit. In that first match, he went at him, and so we got the opportunity to set a rematch there for his last match of the day. And for the first time ever, he had a lead on Reese. I think it was like through the second period, he was up 5-4. Reese ended up coming back and winning 8-5. But that kid being back on the mat is going to make our kids a lot better. It's going to make anybody that wrestles him have to adapt and get better.
Well,
So it's cool. Good to
I
see
like
him
that you
too.
point out with Harley too, like, even in a loss, you're like, hey, I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this. Like, I was telling Maura that as well. She got beat in one of her matches, and was saying like, I don't think I performed really well. I'm like, all right, you're focusing on that, and I'm focusing on the fact that you hit a move that we were working on Sunday, and then you hit it in the match.
Hmm.
That's perfect for me. That's exactly what I need. Or you
Yep.
were taking shots, and then I could tell you what was wrong with your shot instead of you wrestling scared. I don't know if you won or lost those matches. I can't remember. But now I have stuff that I can work with you with and show you, right? Or I can you're proving that you're listening during, like, those are the things that we can build on. The top 30 is great and we want you to win and all that, but this is just getting ready for the big stuff. Or really, there's not even I don't even like to tell kids that there's big stuff. Every match is just, what can I do better? What can I do better? Did I win? Like, whether you won or lost, whether it's a JV match or the state championship match, you want to be that kind of person that comes off the mat and be like, all right, what can I do better? How can I be a better wrestler?
The thing you said about Mora, kids tend to have that like shorter term perspective of what happened in this match exact. Like what did the scoreboard say? Oh, okay, I lost, not my best performance, whatever. But as coaches and a lot of times parents and teachers and whatnot, we can kind of see a bigger picture. Um, like you said, I don't. If a wrestler on my team loses 15-2, but he hit that single leg that we worked on Wednesday, that's a win for me because I can see, and you can see, and any other coach that's ever coached can see that we're growing for something bigger down the line. And so, if we've learned and implemented something, even in a loss, it's a win for me. And I like that you have the same attitude, and I think a lot of
Yeah,
coaches
the
do.
one more kid I want to shout out, and I found out how stupid strong this kid is Jackson Starkey. I was sitting over next to the Starkeys at this last tournament, and me and him were kind of messing around, and I thought he was coming in to give me a hug, and then turns out he was trying to choke me out, and he's just like, tap, and that dude's got a left arm, I'll tell you that right now. But I'm happy I got to hang out with him, talk
I
with him.
agree.
It makes me so happy seeing how much, seeing you guys at these tournaments, seeing, you grow as a coach, JP grow as a wrestler, and Jackson to continue to grow stronger and stronger, and be a present at these tournaments. So it was a good chance to tell him like how much of an inspiration he is, not just to the wrestlers, but like everybody that is in any gym that he comes to. Like, he was so proud, showed me like he can stand up. I'm like, I know, man. I'm can't wait to see you walk on a mat, man. And so shout out to him and the Starkey family for being Starkey strong for all the North Florida wrestling community at every single tournament. They travel everywhere.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, on that note, Jackson at the end of the tournament, like I went to give him like a high five and he reached his arms out for a hug and I pulled in and hugged him and you're right, that kid is dang
Mm-hmm.
strong, man. I he cracked my back with his bear hug he got going on. So no, it was cool. It's just that's a good family, man. I really like what they're doing over there at Pace and just for the wrestling
That's
community as a
true.
whole.
All right, man. We'll let you get to it. I know you got a lot of kids to coach over there. We will be here same time, same place next week to talk about the leaderboard going into the finale.